Agenda item 12 is discussion possible action regarding the Nevada Attorney General's opinion relating to Mesquite Regional Business Incorporated, MRBI, and the State of Nevada Open Meeting Law, OML, with possible action. I'll open this up to Ms. Hunt to begin with.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As an explanation for this item, last year a complaint was filed with the Attorney General alleging that the Mesquite Regional Business Incorporated, a nonprofit organization with which the city contracts to provide economic development services, was not in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law. The State Attorney General issued an opinion on February 13, 2014, in which they applied a new test for the state, which has never been used before. And they stated that applying that test, MRBI is viewed as a public body and as such is subject to the open meeting law. Because this is an opinion and it's not codified law, there are a lot of legal issues and ramifications that the city needs to review before action can be taken. So the city has sought some advice from the Legislative Counsel Bureau as to how to work with this, and right now we're just waiting for that. So that's about all I can tell you at this point. As soon as we get that back, then we'll have more recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Any comments or questions from council? Councilman Ramsden?
Yeah, here we go again. I mean, I think that this is, I agree with the attorney, city attorney, Hunt. I think we do need to understand the complete ramification of this from a legal standpoint. But I can tell you from a practical standpoint, from what I understand, and again, until all of the legal aspects are ironed out, I'm not sure I understand them all, but the open meeting thing is not, to me, a critical feature. I don't know how MRBI feels about that. That's up to them. But what I do, the absolute free access of information for people who are prospective businesses in town, example given, the one that's the warehousing company that wishes to remain anonymous, we would not even be continuing conversations with them if we were required to give up particular data, sensitive data. People want to relocate from other locations. Load Tech moved from North Las Vegas. Those have ramifications with respect to the employees that are working at the original site, the future site, competitors. This is a very complicated issue, and we did this with a specific purpose, is to keep us out of it. We're not good at it. We've proved that over the last 10 years. Now with this consent, it appears that in likelihood, this is going to make this another committee. Not only is the open meeting law, which is fine, but if it's a public entity, they become a committee. We are the ones who are going to be appointing the board of directors. And that changes at the whim of every new council and mayor. And that is why we did what we did the way we did it. So I have great concern about how this is going to impact the functionality of MRBI. I don't know, but we need to find out what the specific ramifications are with some of the issues that I've raised and other councilmen have raised, and understand what this means. Because if it means the worst case, that it becomes a committee of us, we got it back again. We are now running the business that we failed so miserably at running before. So this is an important decision, and it can't be just, I think we have to do our homework and understand what's going on. And it is what it is. I mean, if this doesn't work and they cannot be functional under this AG's ruling, and that's a ruling that has teeth and can really mean something, then it's back to the drawing board. And the drawing board, folks, is the city taking it back in. We can't form a public-private deal, clearly, because we just tried that, and it's been ruled, at least in the opinion of the AG, not permissible. So then it goes to a public economic development company. There isn't going to be one. There's no public, no private entities are going to invest their own money entirely in driving business to Mesquite. What do they get out of it? So basically, it's this, what we have today, or nothing, is the way I see it. And at the end of the day, that's a very complicated and very meaningful decision, so we can't just start deciding what to do in a week's time or 8 days' time or whatever it was. We need to understand what's going on. That's my opinion.
I'll go ahead and concur with what Councilman Rapson had to say, and then further just a little bit more of that. I think one of the reasons, and I sat on the original Economic Development Board. I was there when it was formed many years ago, when we used to be the Rodeo Board. They decided to make us an Economic Development Board. Very little success. There was not much going on. We approved a few advertisements once in a while. But basically, economic development in the city of Mesquite over those years was based solely and strictly on politics. I can name many, many different projects and programs that all came up and they're all wonderful and great. We've been bit by a few of them. Some we were lucky enough not to have a payment towards them. Others were on the hook. My thought was to get the politics out of it. Government does not belong in economic development. It's not what we do. We take care of streets, we take care of public safety, put parks out there, we do those things. Business is for business. Councilman Rapson's absolutely right. This throws this completely, from what I can understand, back into the public realm, back into government. You guys get to handle it. I don't know what MRBI is going to decide. And there are a lot of legal ramifications that we need to look into. The city does, but MRBI needs to make a decision too. They need to discuss amongst themselves how they want to go forward with this opinion. And I think that's a key, and I know many of you aren't going to agree with that. It is an opinion. It is not the law. It is an opinion. One that comes to mind quickly with the AG was back when the RTC was going through its problems with the contracts. AG came out and said, you can't vote that way. That's illegal. District Court judge told the AG he was absolutely wrong. So there is a lot of room here for those who wish to take a look at this opinion. As for the city, as a mayor, I have no wanting for this city to be involved in economic development. We'll set the zoning laws, we'll do the permitting, we'll make sure that there's a level playing field. That's our job. Make sure to keep impact fees and taxes reasonable. But as for enticing businesses to come to Mesquite, I just don't see that as being something that we should be involved in. Mesquite's a wonderful place. I think we do enough by supporting things like the Lawn Drive, showing venues off that really showcase what Mesquite is all about. But the nuts and bolts of economic development, we are woefully incapable of doing that job. And I say that from experience. I have watched it over the years. I hope whatever decision's made, I am the mayor, I don't get to vote on this deal, unless one of you guys decides to abstain. But